Hey, what's up, guys? It's Purple Stream of Live Sports and Gaming coming at you guys again for another video. So last night in the NBA, we had 3 playoff matchups that I talked about last night. You had the Orlando Magic versus the Toronto Raptors. You had the San Antonio Spurs versus the Denver Nuggets. And then you had the Thunder versus the Trailblazers. I'm not going to touch much on the Magic versus the Raptors. That game got out of hand pretty quick. And it was so bad, in fact, that the Magic got blown off the court. They ended up losing by 29. And what happened also that I saw was they started off the game 11-0. The Raptors were up 11-0. Now, eventually the Magic did cut into the lead, and they actually did get within 6. And then that was the closest they got, because then the Raptors just kept making shots. And they kept getting to the rim. There was a lot of defensive breakdowns that I saw for the Magic, a lot of switches that weren't called. If there's like a little pick and roll or pick and pop, the big man was always left open behind the three-point line, Marc Gasol, he got multiple open three-point shots. I believe that the Magic also were rebounded, I'm not sure, but they also did turn the ball over 18 times, which is not going to help you win playoff games. They shot 26% from the three-point line. So this team, to me, more than others, is really predicated on being able to shoot the three. So that's how they really sustain leads, or that's how they cut into leads. It's how they stay with the good teams. And they just didn't have it last night. DJ Augustin had 26 in the first game. He had 9 in the second game. So that's not going to get it done. And he basically wet the bed. They came up short. There's not really much to say about it. So for the San Antonio Spurs and Denver Nuggets. So Denver Nuggets won by 8. This game was really won in the fourth quarter by, I keep forgetting, it's Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray. He had 21 points in the fourth quarter. He ended up having, I believe, 26 or 27 for the whole game. But in the fourth quarter, when I was watching, he was not only aggressive, but he was using a lot of screen and roll, a lot of handoff stuff with Nikola Jokic. Those two worked hand in hand in actually bringing the team back. They were down by at least 15 in the game. They ended up coming back, and then once they got the lead, they didn't give it back. There were questionable foul calls, by the refs against San Antonio. Some things that didn't look right. There was a three-point shot that they didn't call a foul on. But a lot of refs these days they don't call a lot of fouls on three-point shots unless it's like blatant. But to me, what happened was, in the beginning, Nikola Jokic was aggressive. He was shooting his shots. He was rebounding. He had 21 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. He's a great passer, so that's not surprising. But him just being aggressive and getting his shots early, to me, was really a big factor in them winning the game. So now what I expect going forward for the Denver Nuggets is, to me, they have to either win both games or they have to split in San Antonio. There's no way you can go to San Antonio and not win a game. If that happens, to me, San Antonio will either win in 5 or 6. So my prediction is, I believe Denver will go and split a game in San Antonio. I don't think they'll win the third game. I think they might win the fourth game. But I believe that Denver is going to win in 5. Is going to win in, I believe, in 6 or 7 games. San Antonio is going to be a tough out because they're coached by Greg Popovich, but I believe the youth for Denver works in this case, that they like to get up and down. They shoot the three ball. They can be streaky at times, but they're a very good three-point shooting team. They got a deep bench. Their defense is going to have to still shore up things because they're young, but I'm still picking this team to either win in 6 or 7. So that's my prediction. I forgot to tell you about the Magic. So after what I saw last night, I believe Toronto will win in 6. I think Magic will get 1 game at home. I believe they'll get the 4th game. I think the Magic will win the next game because they're going to carry this momentum from this game, but I think Toronto will win in 6. Then you had the Blazers and Thunder last night. That was a really entertaining game. Russell Westbrook, he shot 5 of 20. He only hit 1 3 last night. He did have 14 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds. But he's just so streaky. He's not a great shooter, and what that really entails is that his game is not really translating, and it's not evolving. In today's game, you have to be able to shoot, and that's how you make plays. Steph Curry, because he's a great shooter and because he's really pioneered this movement to scoring behind the three-point line, to making shots that were bad shots before into good shots now, is that because he's able to shoot, he can get to the rim and he can make plays for others. Not only by having the ball, but without the ball. Russell Westbrook, to me, is a guy who always has to have the ball, which is why to me it really hurts Oklahoma City, because if he was a decent shooter at least, and if he was a guy who didn't always have to have the ball to be effective, which he doesn't necessarily have to because he's a great rebounder, then that would help this team. Even though Paul George had 27 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, he only shot 2 of 7 from the three-point line, even though he was 11 of 20 from the field. So while he's getting better, I think his shoulder is getting better because he's getting his rhythm back. He's going to have to step up more, because Russell Westbrook, to me, is not going to change. His efficiency is just, it's off the charts. It's not great. So I think Portland is going to win in 6. That was my prediction when I first talked to you guys about this series. I believe Portland's going to win in 6. I don't know if they'll steal one in Oklahoma City, though, but that's what they're going to have to do. I think they'll steal the 6th game, Game 6, and I think that's going to end the series, and they're going to move on and possibly play Denver. But I just think that we know what Portland is, and we also know Oklahoma City is, but on any given night, we don't know what Russell Westbrook's going to do, how he's going to shoot, and what's going to happen. We don't know if Paul George is going to have a bad game. This team for Oklahoma City is inconsistent to me in a lot of ways, so they're going to have to fix that if they want to be able to have an impact in this series. So, thank you guys for listening. Real quick, so once again, I'm picking the Toronto Raptors in 6 games. I'm also picking Denver in 7. This is going to be a long series to me. And then I'm picking the Portland Trail Blazers in 6 games. Thank you guys for listening to this video. I'll be back with you guys real soon.